And the theme today, but actually all for this week, is the spring equinox. And it's just a reminder at this time of year to connect with all our energies. So the spring equinox very much focuses on decluttering, detoxification, just looking at renewing. And this practice is very much in a traditional yoga practice, honouring that, and is for the both equinoxes and the solstice. And there are variations, of course, on the theme. So come to standing, lift and roll your shoulders. Breathing in, raise your right arm or one arm, doesn't matter which. Breathe out, turn your head away from that arm. Breathe into the centre, and breathing out, lower your hand. And breathing in, raise the other arm. Stretch up. Breathing out, turn away from that arm. Breathe in, come to the centre. And breathing out, lower your arm. Lift and roll your shoulders. Breathing in, raise both arms. Touch or interlock your thumbs and just gently sway from side to side. This comes into the swaying palm movement, which connects to the Vata element. And Vata and movement and the element of air is very much responsible for any pains or niggles that we've got in our body. Just gently turn to one side in a rotational movement. Come to the centre and rotate to the other side. Come to the centre and then release your arms. Lift and roll your shoulders. Breathing in, raising your arms up. You can touch fingers. Breathing out, lower your arms down alongside you. Breathing in, raising your arms up. Touch palms or touch fingers. Breathing out, lower your arms back down alongside you. And do this a few times in your own breath sequencing. It's just setting the energy field, stretching, engaging your whole body as you engage your feet into the ground. And as you stretch up, you're connecting everything through your body. Breathing out. And last time, breathing in, touching fingers. And breathing out. Lift and roll your shoulders. Turn your head to the left as you breathe in, and to the right as you breathe out. Left as you breathe in, and right as you breathe out. And last time, as you breathe in, turn your head to the left, breathing out, turning to the right, and bring your head back to the centre. Drop your chin to your chest and roll your chin up towards your right shoulder, taking a breath in and out here. Roll your chin back downwards, so chin to chest, and then carry on that roll to the left, bringing your chin up towards your left shoulder, and breathing out, rolling your head back down again. Lifting your head up to the centre and just placing your fingertips on your collarbone. Just circling your elbows forwards. Opening up the shoulders, but also the thoracic, the upper back. And then just reverse the movement. If your elbows touch, wonderful, but that is quite a stretch to get your elbows to touch. And then just release your hands back down again. Just circle your wrists in one direction and circle your wrists in the other direction. And then just flick your fingers out and just release them. Maybe tense them in, but just a gentle release. Flick out and just come back in again. And then just release your hands. So come to step your right foot forward, and the right foot, if you're wobbling on your balance, can go slightly out to the right edge of your mat. Your left foot is out at an angle of 45 degrees. Breathing in, raising your hands up, stretching up. You can look ahead or up, your call, and breathing out, soften your front right knee as you lengthen your back and then come to fold over towards your right leg, touching your hands either on the floor or on your shin. Press both feet down to support your weight as you come up, hands up. And we're going to be doing this a few times. Breathing out, tummy in, perineum engages slightly to lengthen along your back. Coming forward. And then pressing both feet into the ground to support you coming up again. A few more times on this side. So you're moving through your magnetic field here, your aura, and you're almost cleansing out the energy, coming back to that theme of cleansing, particularly around the spring equinox time. Make this next one the last one. And then release your hands and step your right foot back. Just sway maybe from side to side before we come to the other left side. This moves all energies in the body. And then coming to the other side, stepping the left foot forward to your comfort. Right foot turns out towards the back. And then breathing in, raise both hands up, looking either ahead or upwards, depending on where your neck is. And breathing out, coming forward, lengthening along the spine, and then rounding to touch your fingers either to the floor or to your shin. Press both feet down. As you come in, you go out. You come in and out in the same way. Up, breathing out. Lengthen tummy in. Out. And make the next one the last one. Lower your hands and step your left foot back. And once more, just come gently from side to side. So this next movement is a variation on that aura and magnetic field cleansing theme. And I guess it's a matter of personal preference. Just come to standing still. And this time, it's not an asymmetrical movement, it's a symmetrical movement, raising both hands up. You can almost go to a back bend, depending on your neck. Breathing out, really bend your knees to touch your fingers to the floor or to your shins. Breathing in, press your feet to the ground as you come up. Stretch back. Breathing out, come forward. So in one type of yoga, Kundalini yoga, these are called miracle bends. Cleansing through our energy fields. It's also quite hard to hold on to a thought process when you're raising your hands up and back. And the action of raising the hands up and even slightly back puts you into a very slight back bend. That's very uplifting for the mood as you lift your chest bone. And then just release your hands. And before we come to our rest position, we're going to do a very familiar movement, which is clearing the energy around the liver, so it's on the right side that it's clearing. So it's supposed to represent transmuting anger and irritation. We've done it before, up, down, one arm, back, up, down, the other arm. So it's up, back, cross, up, back, cross the other arm. Doesn't matter if you get muddled up, down, cross. It's almost releasing energy out, stagnant energy. And you can feel, particularly in the upper part of the body. But again, you're going into your magnetic field here. And very gently start to slow the movement down. And then come to just swaying your arms forwards and backwards. Energy through the hands is getting released. So again, you're clearing stagnant energy out of the body and out of your mind as well. And then come to lying on the floor. So in some of the traditional yoga practices, there is an element of letting the body recoup the energy that's being expended or has been expended, and just to let the body absorb that energy. So lying on the floor, while we're waiting just for that energy to recoup. So it's corpse pose on the floor. Just extend your right heel and relax it. And extend your left heel away from you towards the opposite side of the room, the edge of the mat, and release. And do that again a couple of times, and you'll feel this movement opening you up in the hip. So our hips can store a lot of stagnant energy, particularly if we're sitting a lot all day or in meetings or doing whatever we're doing. And this comes within the somatic movement of clearing energy from the hips as one part of many parts of somatic movement. And then just gently circle both ankles in one direction. Moving the energy through the feet, activating through almost in like reflexology, a lot of meridians in the feet. And then circle the ankles in the other direction. And then rest your ankles, just release. And then turn both feet, both big toes towards the left. Come through the centre as you move both toes and big toes and feet to the right. So it becomes left and right swiping movement. It's an eversion and an inversion. And you're just moving your ankle bones in a slightly different way. Bring your feet to the centre and just stretch your toes open, just opening up as the toes, where the toes join the base of the feet, which connects into your lungs, and then just release, relax your toes. Once more, turn your head to the right, this time supported on the floor. Bring your head back to centre and then just turn your head to the left. And once more, turn your head from side to side. Come back to the centre. Extend your right heel and raise your right arm. You can keep your elbows slightly bent, soft, above you, stretching out the right side, chin slightly tucks into the chest. And then breathing out, lower your right arm and just relax your right foot out to the side. And then engage your left heel as you raise your left arm up above you, stretching your left side. And then breathing out, release, lowering your left arm back down alongside you and just releasing and relaxing your left leg. Breathing in, extend both heels and raise both arms above the head. Chin tucked into the chest so that you're lengthening the back of your neck. Stretch your fingers, you can stretch your toes as well. And then breathing out, relax as you lower your arms and let both legs release and relax out to the side. Once more, turn your head, it doesn't matter which way, from side to side again. Bend both knees so that both feet are on the floor, hip width apart, and both knees are up to the ceiling. You might want to just press your feet into the ground to lift your bottom and readjust your pelvis back down onto the floor. And just gently start by swaying your knees in the same direction from one side to the other. You might feel more comfortable to have or wriggle your feet further out towards the edge of the mat to provide a greater space for your knees to drop into. This movement again works on the hips, massages the top of your bottom, right across an acupressure point at the top of the bottom. And you can stay like this, or you can begin to involve your head. So as your knees drop to one side, your head can turn away from your knees. Bring knees and head back to the center, and let the knees drift over to the other side as you turn your head away from your knees. Your hips can lift off the floor. And this comes very much to within the somatic movement, i.e. anti-aging is one benefit. You can roll down to the ground or keep the movement soft. Again, the choice is up to you. As we age, our joints can contract as we don't explore fully the movement, particularly in the hips and particularly at the shoulders. So with the shoulders, you get the stooping forward a little bit, which compresses the lungs. And with the hips, you get that slight stiffness. And these are some very effective exercises to minimize that contraction. And then just bring your knees to the center. Not to forget your shoulders. Open your arms out in a T so that your arms are palms down on the floor at shoulder height. If that's too strong for you, you can move your arms slightly down to an A shape. And just explore opening both palms up towards the ceiling, and you'll feel the shoulder socket is moving. You're rotating your arms at the shoulder socket. The arms are being supported by the ground as you open your arms upwards. And it's an exploration of part of your shoulder movement. And then just see if you can bring your little fingers up higher so that you're really rotating the upper arms in the shoulder socket. And then gently release and roll back. I can really feel a restriction that I've got slightly in my right shoulder, and that exercise really demonstrates that. And then coming back to the hips again, hug one knee in and then the other knee in. Just rock gently from side to side. Separate the knees out in a V, and then just make circles with your knees. Your hands are holding your knees. So again, you'll feel this at the lower back level, but you are moving your hips, the tops of the legs in the hip socket. It's a rotational movement. So you can move as wide or make the circle as big or as little as you'd like. It's a very safe hip movement. And then very gently reverse your circle. And then hug both knees into the chest. And just a couple of times, still hold your knees while you let your knees drift away from you to arm's length. And then hug them back into the chest again. And let them drift away. And one final time, hugging your knees into your chest. And then let them drift away. And place your feet on the ground. Hip width apart, knees up to the ceiling. And clasp your hands under the back of your head, which means that your elbows are out to the side. And breathing out, lift your head and elbows slightly. Your elbows are still wide. Breathing and just relaxing as you lower your head back down to the ground. Breathing out, flatten your back to the ground as you lift your head. It doesn't matter if you bring your elbows in a little bit. That might help you. And then just releasing back down again. This is a very safe core engagement. Breathing out, lifting your head up slightly. And then releasing your head back down to the ground. Hold your left knee with your left hand. You keep your right hand where it is under the head to support it. Breathing out, lift up again with your head and bring and angle your right elbow towards your left knee and then just release back down again. You're supporting your head with your right hand at all times. Breathing out, lift up and then curl over, bringing your right elbow towards your left knee. And then release back down again. And last time, in your own breath, lifting up as you breathe out, and bringing your elbow over towards your left knee, and then back down again. Release your left foot back down to the ground. And this time, support your head with your left hand as you hold your right knee with your right hand, hugging the right knee into the chest. And the same thing here, breathing out, lifting up, and then angling your left elbow towards your right knee as you twist over and then come back down again. Breathing out, coming up, elbow to knee, and release. And then breathing out, coming up, elbow to right knee, and then release. Slide your left hand out from under your head when it's back on the ground and hug both knees into the chest, rocking once more from side to side. And then sliding your hands down your shins to hold above your ankles so that your knees will open like a V, your big toes will vaguely aim towards one another, not quite, and you're opening up into a kind of supine Baddha Konasana. You'll feel this on the inside of your groins as you open out. Just you can stay static here or just infinitesimally rock from side to side. It is going to be a very small movement at the base of the back. And then you've got the option to just bring your hands to your big toes. You can hold your shins if your hands aren't going there. So your little second and third finger onto your big toe, your thumb over the big toe, and just stretch your legs out and up in a V. Extend your heels. As I said, you can hold your shins or behind your legs if your arms aren't long enough to go there. As you naturally extend your heels as you're holding your big toe, and just rock from side to side, and you'll feel with the extension of the heels the stretch on the inside of the legs, which my understanding is it's part of the psoas muscle system, but either way, that inner part of the leg can sometimes not engage properly, so this is a very good, easy way to engage that inner leg muscle. And then hug both knees into the chest, releasing the big toe, and Place your left foot on the ground, cross over your right leg over the left knee, and then lift both feet off the ground, so you're lifting your left foot off the ground, and slide your hands down your legs to hold above your ankles. I hope that makes sense. So my left hand is on my right ankle, and my right hand is on my left, above my left ankle. And as you hug your ankles in and your knees will come into you, you'll feel a stretch on the outside hip. So it's my right outer hip that's feeling the stretch. Unravel your legs, bringing both feet to the ground, and then reverse that. So your left leg crosses over your right. Lift your right leg off the floor so that both knees come in towards you. Slide your hands down your shins, so again you're holding just above your ankles, and hug your knees into your chest. And you'll feel this opening out on the outer left hip this time. And then very gently release both feet, uncross your left foot from your right. Just either have your hands on the floor alongside you, palms down, or resting on your abdomen, as you once more gently sway your knees from side to side. And then we're going to be coming ultimately to up onto our knees, so coming up. So you can hug your knees into your chest and roll to the right, or just rock up. And then come over to, in your own time, to kneel on the ground in the starting tabletop. So hands and knees on the ground, knees hip width apart, hands hip width apart. And just gently sway from side to side. So as your hips go to one side, turn your head. So if your hips go to the left, just try turning your head to the left. And then sway your hips to the right and your head goes to the right. So if you imagined you were a fish, you'd be looking down on top of the fish as it swirls from side to side. So then don't worry about the movement, just get that swirling. It's a way of creating fluidity within our movement. And very safely, because both the knees and the hands are supporting the body, our skeleton. So it's a very restful pose because our hearts are parallel to the ground, like animals, when the heart's not having to pump up to the head, which can be a problem, particularly as we get older. The head doesn't receive the blood that it needs, and it can people can feel faint or dizzy or just lose it slightly, and then just come back to kneeling. And this is going to be very simple. We're going to slide our hands to our knees as we kneel up. Raise our hands upwards, stretch the fingers up. Breathing out, rounding the back to bring the hands back down to the earth, sliding the hands away from you, back to tabletop. Slide your hands to your knees, kneel up, hands up. Stretch your hands up. Breathing out, round your back, chin to chest. Hands back down onto the mat, slide them out to a comfortable position. Dip your back in cat. Round your back in cow, chin to chest. Slide your hands towards you, kneeling up, hands up. You can always take support under your knees. Rounding, chin to chest. This activates the vagus nerve, so it's calming the nervous system. Sliding the hands out. Cat, dipping the back in cat. Rounding the back, chin to chest. Sliding the hands up towards your knees, kneeling up. And breathing out. Rounding your back, chin to chest. Dipping your back, and this time as you round your back, chin to chest, bring your bottom towards your heels, keeping your hands forward as you're stretching out in extended child's pose. And then slide your hands back towards your knees as you lift up, kneel up, hands up. Breathing out, lower your hands back down to the mat. Dip your back in cat. Round your back in cow, and then bring your bottom towards your heels, stretching out. You can alter your hand position at any point or anything at all about your position. And then slide your hands back to your knees as you kneel up. Hands up, stretching up. Bring your hands down as you breathe out, rounding your chin to your chest. Move your hands out to be comfortable as you bring your bottom towards your heels, stretching out. And then sliding your hands, kneeling up, hands up, breathing out, rounding chin to chest. Dip your back in cat, round, chin to chest, bottom towards the heels. And this time, come to a neutral tabletop, tuck your toes and come into a downward dog. Take the time here to make your feet wider if that works for you. You can keep your knees bent and you can adjust your fetal position at any point. You can walk the dog, so you bend one knee and extend the heel of the other leg, and then reverse that so that you bend the opposite knee and extend the other heel. Your hips can sway, and you can mimic that same fluid movement of a fish as you sway your hips from side to side while you walk the dog. Even in this pose, there's an awareness of your lower abdomen just slightly coming in towards your spine and engaging the perineum. And there's a lengthening of the spine. So bottom high as you bend your knees to lengthen the spine and then straighten your legs a little bit. And then bend both knees back down to the ground. Tabletop, inhaling, dip your back, breathing out, rounding your back, chin to chest. Bring your bottom then to your heels, sliding your hands towards you as you kneel up. Hands up, stretching up, breathing out, bring your hands back down to the mat. Breathing in, cat, dipping your back. Breathing out, rounding your back. Chin to chest. Bring your bottom back towards your heels. And then come to bring your elbows to the ground. Walk your elbows out so that you're coming into puppy pose. So that your bottom is up high. You're resting on your elbows are walking away from you. And you're stretching your bottom up high above your knees and resting maybe your forehead on the ground or your head on the ground. Your elbows can stay on the ground or lift, and it's stretching again into the upper back, into the thoracic area. Quite releasing the lower back too. Even here you can have an attention to your lower abdomen in towards the spine, lifting up your tummy. Your perineum naturally engages here, so you engage your core quite naturally. Again, sitting a lot, your upper back can get strained. You're kind of releasing between the shoulder blades. But that extends up to the shoulders, almost the back of the head. And then gradually come up. And then tabletop, and just then move your spine, coming forward on your knees into upward dog. Looking ahead or along the mat. And if you've got the capacity in your neck, turn your head to look over your right shoulder. You won't go very far. Bring your head back to centre and turn your head to look over your left shoulder. Again, you won't go very far. Come back to the centre with your head. And then just bend your knees and tuck your toes, bringing your bottom once more back towards your heels. It's a token movement. And then come into kneeling again, and then come to a seated position, cross-legged position. Take a blanket or a bolster to sit on, or just sit comfortably. And just rest your hands on your knees as you sit up and breathing out round your chin to your chest. Sitting up and then breathing out rounding your chin to your chest. And one more time, sitting up and then rounding your chin to your chest. Bring your left hand to your right knee and your right hand goes behind you. So it's going to be a twist, a classic twist, working at the central navel energy, which is a samana energy. So affecting the digestive system and our digestive enzymes, and also realigning our backs. Breathing in, lengthen the spine, breathing out, turn over to look over your right shoulder. And stay here for a couple of breaths. You don't have to strain, just a gentle turn. Stop when you feel that you need to stop. And then breathing in, come back to the centre. Hands on the knees to lengthen your spine, tummy in, and then bring your right hand to your left knee, left hand behind you, fingers pressing into the ground, or palm pressing into the ground. Lengthen as you breathe in your spine, and then breathe out, turn to look over your left shoulder. Press down your hand, lengthen, and breathing out, turn. Your head is the last thing to turn. And just stay here for an in and an out breath. Breathing in, come back to the centre and just walk. Either keep your hands on your shins and lengthen on your spine slightly forward, or just walk your fingertips slightly forward to compensate for the rotational movement that we've just made. So a forward bend compensates that. Your chin is slightly down, back of the neck is extended. The blood has free flow up into the head. And then gently walking your fingers back, sitting up. And then it disconnects to the heart level as we breathe in, just opening the hands out. Breathing out, bringing the hands back to the heart. You can bend your chin to your chest as well, or just keep your head up, whichever works for you. Breathing in, opening your hands out, your fingers open out. Breathing out, coming back to the heart, maybe chin to chest. Breathing in, opening your fingers out. Breathing out, chin to chest. Breathing in, opening your fingers out. Breathing out, chin to chest. Breathing in, opening your fingers out. Breathing out, chin to chest. Keep your hands at your heart level and just lift your head up. And just take a couple of breaths, imagining you're breathing through the centre of your forehead into a part of the middle of the head, as you might imagine that, and just let the breath travel down and release mentally through your feet. Breathing in again, let the breath travel from the nose to the centre of the head, and then imagine putting anything you don't want today into your out breath as it travels down through the body and leaves through the soles of the feet. And then breathing in through the nose to the point of the centre of the head, forehead, behind the forehead. Breathing out, let the breath travel down, cleansing as you go, going out through the soles of the feet and symbolically going back to the earth. And then just mentally take a moment to have a thought for the day, an intention for yourself or for somebody else. and keep your chin to your chest, taking a bow for yourself. And thank you very much for joining me today.